At the Junior Beast Taming School, the teacher's instructions echoed. You have less than a week until the beast taming exam, and tomorrow will be the day to assess your qualifications as beast tamers. All of you have already signed your first beast taming contracts, so today, make sure to rest well, prepare thoroughly, and strive to achieve good results. All right, everyone. Everyone left the classroom in a state of anxiety, about to determine their qualifications as beast tamers. I'm so worried, said one student, but his friend next to him nodded in agreement. Who wouldn't be anxious? Given our current strength, it's already difficult to get a basic beast taming internship. While some were worried, others were quite thoughtful. A sturdy guy with gray hair laughed loudly. My goal is to attend the Ninjiang City Beast Taming Academy. Although I might not get into the top-tier academy with my strength, getting into another person sitting at a desk was despondent, rubbing his head. If I can't even get a beast taming internship, then I'll have to be. In the corner of the classroom was a mysterious, silent teenager staring out the window. The upcoming beast tamer qualification assessment was looming. But I'm someone who has transmigrated. What does that have to do with anything? He thought. Indeed, a week ago he had transmigrated. Through combining the memories carried by this body, he knew what this world was like. Hundreds of years ago, during a great catastrophe, countless ferocious beasts emerged from fissures in various spaces, hunting humans. Later, humans counterattacked. In the brutal war, they gradually learned to control and command these beasts to fight for them. This was how beast tamer professionals were born and rose to prominence. In this era of beast taming, beast tamers randomly became symbols of status and class. One could say that becoming a beast tamer was synonymous with entering the elite strata of society. The biggest dream of young people in this world is to become a powerful beast tamer. In this world, all youths over 18 can sign their first beast taming contract. The higher the spirit power, the higher the level of the beast they can contract. However, all these things had nothing to do with him because the original owner of this body had already signed the first beast taming contract before he transmigrated. But the trouble was, the Xiao little snowball, was harmless to humans and animals, only appearing cute. The harsh truth was like snowflakes blown by the wind, making him feel downcast. He sighed, "This creature not only lacks offensive power, but also cannot evolve. Could it be that I'll just remain an ordinary person and live a mundane life?" He sighed and muttered, "Other transmigrated individuals, if they have the golden touch and strong power to destroy the heavens and the earth, why am I so unlucky?" At this moment, some classmates approached to tease him. "Don't worry anymore. Not becoming a beast tamer is okay. Being a regular office worker isn't so bad either, right?" "Ha ha, exactly. If I don't become a beast tamer, I can always sell ice cream with Xiao Shuichu at the entrance of the shopping center." One laughed. "That's right," another agreed. "Selling cold drinks isn't bad." Facing their teasing, Lamjia, the protagonist, was quite irritated. He originally wanted to stand up and argue, but at that moment, a magical interface appeared before him, leaving him stunned. "System has been fully charged. Initiating startup. System activated successfully. System achievement officially begins." Lamjia was bewildered, wondering, is this the golden touch? Why hasn't the system appeared despite transmigration? After a moment of astonishment, he couldn't contain his excitement and shouted, "Finally, my golden touch has arrived." The system interface included personal information. Name, Lamjia. Physical attributes, 0.8 points. Level, normal. Spirit power, 80 out of 80. Spirit technique, none. Beast, Xiao Shuichu. Achievement points, 0. Notes: the physical and spiritual attributes of a normal adult on the system's interface continued to display. Achievements obtained can grant achievement points and common items. Achievement points can be used to accelerate beast development, unlock skills, enhance beast tamer attributes. And there's more. Amazing. What about Xiao Shuichu? Immediately, Xiao Shuichu's statistics appeared, including name, Xiao Shuichu. Attribute, ice. Rank, top tier. Current growth rate, 23.48%. Skill, emit freezing aura, which can accelerate development through combat or consuming energy-rich items. Growth rate at 100% will trigger evolution. After evolution, the beast's strength will significantly. This line says that reaching a 100% growth rate will trigger evolution. Can it really evolve? Lamjia focused intently, examining the information closely. Evolution path options. Option 1 is the Berserker path. The evolution method enhances combat and melee capabilities, focusing on improving physical strength and power while weakening elemental control. The next evolution form is Snow Monster, which can evolve up to 5 tiers. Option 2 is the Queen Path, which enhances ice elements and celestial gifts, focusing on improving magical abilities and weakening melee attributes. The next step, Lamza was astonished. Xiaoshui clearly cannot evolve. So why is this the evolution path? He was bewildered. He summoned Xiaoshu, holding it in his hand, and said, "If this is the case, I don't need to sell ice cream. I can become a bee. Even the Queen Path can evolve to the king level. That's great." The Queen Path's next evolution, Ice Spirit, requires meeting certain conditions: 100% growth rate, 20 mid-level ice essences, and 1 Ice Spirit gem. Lamja quickly made a decision. First, let's use achievement points to upgrade Xiaoshuichu. First beast you have successfully contracted can grant 100 achievement points and 1 completed spirit crystal. Completing the beast taming internship assessment and passing the first baptism ceremony can earn 200 points and 1 spirit crystal. Successfully enrolling in any beast taming academy can grant 300 achievement points, 1 spirit crystal, and 1 enhancement crystal. Since the first beast task has been completed, Lamja successfully received 100 achievement points and 1 spirit crystal. Next, use achievement points. His hand pointed towards Xiaoshui in front of him. Ideas are moving, requesting an immediate. The system energy envelops Xiaoshui. Current rank, top tier. Current growth rate, 23.48%. Evolution. Once the upgrade is complete, Lamja breathed a sigh of relief. Success! The upgrade process. He rubbed Xiaoshui's face thoughtfully, but the dazzling special effects only lasted a moment. Ah, too few points. This little guy should be a F-tier beast. This is really unfair. He still needed to prepare more ice essences and spirit gems to evolve. Specifically, 20 mid-level ice essences and 1 ice spirit gem. Most normal people wouldn't be able to figure out the evolution method. He went to earn money first, then to the beast store to buy evolution materials. Seeing him leave, his friends teased. "Ha-ha, Lamja, are you preparing to take Xiaoshuichu home to sell ice cream?" Ignoring them, Lamja instructed his pet, "Little guy, don't pay attention to these trash guys. Tomorrow's beast tamer qualification assessment depends on you." Upon hearing this, his friend immediately turned furious. "You trash! What are you talking about?" Facing the hateful gaze of that boy, Lamja quietly considered. Be cautious. He thought to himself, if they're the trash, then let's wait for the beast tamer exam scores to see. Upon hearing this, the Zhang student burst into laughter. He and his cronies laughed loudly. "What? Selling a stuffed toy that can't evolve? Ha ha. If I were you, better get home and sell ice cream then." Suddenly, a girl's voice cut in. "Hey, Zhang Hao, don't be so ridiculous." Seeing this, the young man Zhang Hao stopped laughing. His plump friend added, "I really don't know why Miss Quan likes this trash. Isn't ours better?" Hearing this, Lamja smiled slightly, turned around, and left. He didn't forget to tell the girl, "Don't worry, Nin. No need to argue with them now. When the time comes, they'll understand." He had to go to the beast store now. "You go home first," he told her. Seeing this, Nin nodded gently. Returning to his home, Lamja muttered to himself, "Why are evolution materials so expensive?" In a blink, his monthly savings were depleted. Suddenly, a familiar voice rang out. "You're home?" Lamja saw Annin standing next to him. He called her name gently, and she responded. Lamja pondered for a moment, then smiled and nodded. "If it's tonight, I'll come over." Annin awkwardly brushed her hair and muttered, "Lamja, stop it. Can I go with you to the beast tamer qualification assessment tomorrow?" Lamja asked. Hearing this, Annin happily exclaimed, "That's great. Lamja, you must stop those Zhang Hao guys from bullying you." "Don't worry, I'll make everyone amazed." She cheerfully waved goodbye. "All right then, have dinner at my place later," Lamja said, bidding farewell to her. Then Lamja returned home, sitting on the sofa, muttering, "Only low-level ice essences and spirit gems are this expensive. If I level up, it'll cost a lot. I don't know if Xiaoshuichu understands, but I can only meow in response." He threw upgrading items at Xiaoshuichu, filled with anticipation. "Eat these things, little guy. You can evolve. Take your time." There was no one to steal from him. After the little guy swallowed all the items, its body suddenly began to grow larger. Although he had prepared mentally, Lamja was still very astonished. Is this really evolution? As he finished speaking, Xiaoshuichu was enveloped by a magical light, blinding him. In that mystical light, the originally round and rotating body of Xiaoshuichu began to change unbelievably. First it grew arms, then tiny legs. This change was truly unbelievable to others. The surrounding air was also affected by Xiaoshuichu's cold aura. The light faded, leaving behind a cute little girl, like a fair. This is the new evolved form of Xiaoshichu, called Ice Spirit. Attribute Ice. Level 2nd rank 2. Current growth rate 0%. Skill Ice Blast, extremely cold. Path Queen Path. Next evolution form Snow Queen. Requirements 100% growth rate, 20 mid-level ice essences, and 1 ice snow gem. Lamja happily smiled. Success! Ice Spirit has evolved. Lamja looked at Xiaoshichu in astonishment. Wow, even reaching a high level. At that moment, in the final year of the top high school in Binhai, the average beast tamer's beast strength ranged from 3 to 5 tiers. It was unbelievable that he directly reached. Xiaoshichu now leaned close to his cheek, making him shiver. It's so cold. Then he saw that merely being close made him feel cold. It turned out that the strength increase was even more powerful than he imagined. At the same time, the system notified, first evolution completed, received 100 achievement points and an enhancement. Lamja was overjoyed. If the system hadn't pointed out what materials Xiaochu needed to evolve, no one would use such materials to nurture such a weak beast. He immediately pressed to receive these items. Then he quickly retrieved the spirit crystal, which flew to him. Next, the enhancement crystal also flew to his hand. Spirit crystals can increase spirit intensity, and spirit intensity determines the number and rank of beast contracts. Moreover, enhancement crystals directly increase physical strength. He quickly took the crystal, then put it into his mouth and swallowed it pleasantly. Immediately after swallowing, he felt a change in every cell of his. At this moment, his body began to hover in the air, surrounded by strange. His physical attributes had increased. His soul count went from 1 to 2. His spirit power rose from 0.8 to 1.8. His strength doubled from 80 to 180. Right after that, he punched a wall as a test. He no longer felt cold. Instead, he felt a continuous surge of power flowing out. Although he didn't need to participate directly in battles, having strong physical abilities is always beneficial. In dangerous situations, suddenly, a snow bridge appeared beneath his feet, emitting a few rumbles. He became extremely excited and determined to thoroughly use all his achievement points. He then spent all his achievement points on the snow bridge to level it up. At this point, the snow bridge had reached Tier 2, growth stage, but he didn't stop there. It continued to level up to Tier 4 growth stage, achieving 24%. Seeing this, he smiled to himself, waiting until tomorrow, when the evaluation would surely astonish them. A while later, he walked with Kwang Nin under the school. Kwang Nin walked ahead, casually shrugging his shoulders, and asked, "Hey, have you finished preparing your battle formation?" Lum Trach bowed his head to the ground and replied. She was overjoyed. "Great, that's wonderful. Why have you suddenly become more motivated? If it were before, you definitely would never participate." Hearing her question, he just slightly curved his lips, because people always change. At this moment, some girls in the school kept gossiping. "That's Kwang Nin, a genius student from high school number 1 in Binhai. Why does she always like to hang out with that scoundrel? Who knows? I heard yesterday Chao Hung confessed to her but got rejected. Why does everyone like her? After all, what's so great about her?" Lum Trach felt extremely annoyed hearing this. He frowned and said quietly, "Kwang Nin is my cousin. She is also a genius at high school number 1, Binhai. Many people admire and envy her, but it seems she doesn't care about others." At this moment, Kwang Nin turned to ask him, "Anna, are you really planning to use the snow bridge to participate in the event?" Lum Trach enthusiastically replied, "Of course, don't underestimate the snow bridge." Then she hugged his neck joyfully. "If we all pass today, let's go celebrate. There's a store I've wanted to visit for a long time." But she didn't know that his hand had touched her soft, firm chest, which made him blush. Suddenly, 2 people appeared. Kwang Nin stopped and said, "Wait, you're the one who stole my man." Kwang Nin glanced at the 2 people and asked, "Who are you guys? And who is your girlfriend?" She shouted, "It's Chao Hung." Kwang Nin was suspicious. "Oh, is that the brat?" She recalled his appearance and shook her head, apologizing. "I'm not interested in him. He confessed to me, but I rejected him." She wasn't ashamed and even yelled out, "Nonsense! You must have led him on first." Then Kwang Nin dragged Lum Trach, turned around, and left. "Come on, there's no need to explain more. What are we going to do with them? We have more important." However, her older brother grabbed Kwang Nin's shoulders tightly. "Hey, don't think you can get away with this. Have I let you go? If you've messed with my sister, don't blame me. I'm not being polite." Kwang Nin became angry, her eyes full of hostility as she glanced at him and let go. He saw that look and became stunned, but soon his face hardened. But having already shown his aura, he prepared to strike. This child and mother will taste my power. His attack immediately surged forward, but it was quickly blocked by Lumtract, which astonished Kwang Nin. On the other side, the girl continuously hated him. Don't joke anymore. He's just a scoundrel. Who doesn't know that? He smirked, his voice full of disdain. A hero saving a beauty? Why don't you check yourself and see how strong you are? Lumtract's face darkened, his eyes sharp as if he wanted to deal with the opponent. Then he quickly threw a punch, sending the opponent. He landed heavily on the ground. His sister was stunned and shouted, "On!" He sat up in pain, staring at Lumtract. He stepped forward, gently adjusting his collar. "I am her brother. If there's anything, just ask me." He grimaced, but his eyes still held anger. Kwang Nin stood behind him, thinking to herself, so Lumtract is really that powerful. Lumtract looked at his own arms, amazed at how his physical strength and energy had increased so he wouldn't back down. Getting up, he said, "If you want to die, don't blame me." He extended his hand, which emanated a type of spiritual energy. He shouted loudly, then the spiritual energy radiated brightly. In front of the two witnesses, a Tier 2 beast demon appeared. The scoundrel summoned a tiger demon and maliciously looked towards the two brothers. "Ha ha! 2 high school students daring to confront my Tier 2 tiger demon." Seeing this, Kwang Nin's face turned serious. She thought, exactly, my guardian beast is only Tier 7 growth stage. Even though I'm confident with it, the chances of winning are very slim. There's no other way. I have to arrange it. She concentrated her thoughts and raised her hand forward. But suddenly, her cousin Lumtract appeared right in front of her, startling Kwang Nin and exclaiming, "An, are you doing? Could it be you want to use the snow bridge to fight him?" Lumtract didn't answer but smiled reassuringly. "If you get injured, it will affect your status evaluation. Leave this matter to me." Hearing this, the young girl with freckles laughed mockingly. "Haha, are you crazy with fear? You're just a high school student. Your guardian beast can only reach up to Tier 9 growth stage." How, under the urging of her blonde-haired sister, she eagerly ordered her tiger demon to charge forward. "Attack me!" Without saying a word, Lumtract calmly summoned his own guardian beast. A brilliant, icy light made it hard to see. As the wolf charged forward, it suddenly stood still in midair. Icy energy gradually enveloped its body. In the misty smoke of the frost, the snow bridge, or rather the small, delicate ice spirit, folded its hands and chanted. The large wolf was completely covered by ice in an instant. The unbelievable scene made everyone jump in surprise. Kwang Nin was also astonished as she looked at the strange guardian beast before her, wondering, is this? Lumtract nodded and explained, "The snow bridge has evolved." On her side, the blonde-haired boy and his sister panicked, continuously shouting, "Move, tiger demon!" Lumtract's voice echoed simultaneously. "Now it's called an ice spirit." Following his words, the ice spirit with bright eyes gently moved its hands. Immediately, the frozen wolf shattered into pieces and felt it was completely destroyed. The blonde-haired boy felt a chill down his spine and exclaimed, "No way! You're just a high school student. Your guardian beast can only reach up to Tier 9 growth stage. How could you control my Tier 2 guardian beast?" His sister next to him worriedly asked, "Big brother, what should we do now?" Hearing this, her brother panicked and replied, "I didn't expect him to have a Tier 2 guardian beast, which is higher than Tier 7. But when the two of them tried to turn around, they heard Lumtract's cold voice like ice, along with his hostile gaze. "Didn't I tell you to leave?" Facing that look and aura, the two brothers with blonde hair stood still, struck by fear. The situation fell into silence for a moment. A moment later, the blonde-haired brother made up his mind. He immediately stepped closer to Lumtract, bowed his head respectfully. "I'm sorry, big brother. We were wrong." Seeing this, Lumtract wondered, "Are the two of you apologizing to me?" Immediately, the big boss turned and bowed his head in front of the young woman Kwang Nin, sincerely apologizing. "We were wrong. Please forgive us this time. When we get home, I will..." Upon hearing this, the little sister next to him was momentarily unable to understand his intention to step, but the older brother immediately got angry and gave his little sister a slap. "What's with you being stunned? Why aren't you apologizing?" "Enough already." Kwang Nin coldly waved her hand. "Let it go. You all should leave quickly." Lumtract gently touched Bang Tinghon's head. "It's okay." Following his words, Bang Tinghon began to recover. Meanwhile, the two brothers fled for their lives. Waiting until they left, Kwang Nin turned and provocatively shouted, "Big boss, you're really impressive. What did you do? That's a level 2 Yulang. But what is Bang Tinghon? Can Xiaoshichu evolve?" Lumtract smiled and placed a hand on Bang Tinghon's cheek. "Exactly, but there's not much time left. We'll talk about these things later. We must quickly go to the place where the qualification. A moment later, at the Guardian Beast Association, a large number of trainees had gathered here and were observing the primordial stone. This is indeed the primordial stone. It's a huge stone with strange patterns. It's really big, someone said, but it doesn't seem surprising except for its unusual colors and patterns. It's quiet, just like an ordinary rock. Standing among the crowd, Lamtrak was silent and thoughtful. This is the final skill assessment of the year. Countless people will lose their status as Guardian Beastmasters permanently, and those who succeed will join the Guardian Beast Academy to start At this moment, the crowd focused on the distant door as a well-dressed man entered, holding a coin in his hand. He greeted everyone. Welcome to today's Guardian Beast Master Trainee Qualification. Everyone who entered received a small bronze medal with respectively the inscriptions low level, mid-level, high level, and super level. These are the keys to enter. You need to choose the difficulty level of the challenges you face. The more difficult the gate you overcome, the more abundant the rewards. Please look at the screen. Following his words, the crowd focused on the surface of the primordial stone. Low-level difficulty. Upon passing, you will receive the status of Trainee Guardian Beastmaster, 1 soul point, and a 5% increase in your Guardian Beast's growth rate. Mid-level difficulty. Upon passing, you will receive the status of Trainee Guardian Beastmaster, 2 soul points, and a 10% increase in your Guardian Beast's growth rate. High-level difficulty. You will become an Apprentice Guardian Beastmaster with an additional 3 soul points, 2 physical points, and a 20% increase in your designated Guardian Beast's growth rate, while also Everyone looked at the rewards, getting excited. The allure is incredible. If we can pass the super-level difficulty, that would be great. Some looked at reality skeptically. Don't dream, less than 1/10 people can even pass the high-level difficulty. So this time, Kwangnin approached her cousin and asked, "Which one will you choose?" But Lamtrach remained silent, looking into the man from earlier spoke up, reminding everyone before they choose the difficulty level of the test. "I advise you on this. It relates to your future development. So, please consider carefully and combine it with your own strength to choose a difficult." That's right. This choice can affect a long path in the future and the opportunity to change the fate of countless people. So, regardless of who you are, please consider it choosing the level is almost synonymous with determining their future. After a while of final selections, the primordial stone presented the statistics. Low-level difficulty chosen by 46 people, mid-level by 10 people, high-level by 1 person. Immediately, the crowd became noisy. Did I see that right? There's someone who chose the super-level difficulty. Exactly. It seems this person is not— What time is this? Still messing up. Such a fool. Whoever that is, this person will definitely not get into the Guardian Beast Academy this year. Amid the scornful remarks from those around, Lamtrak pressed the super-level difficulty on his hand. A confident Kwangnin saw this and was shocked, exclaiming, "Big brother, you chose the super-level. If you fail this year, you won't get into the Guardian Beast Academy." Lamtrak stood by, holding the coin tightly in his hand with determination, then confidently smiled and replied, "Don't worry." The news that Lamtrak chose the super-level difficulty quickly spread throughout the school. Upon seeing him, everyone couldn't help but point and gossip. Is this the one who chose the super-level difficulty, or did he press the wrong button? At this moment, the man who had just entered the crowd looked at him and called out, "Kid, did you hear what I said? You need to choose carefully." Lamtrak did not directly look at him. He stood thoughtfully for a moment, then seriously replied, "This decision was made after." The man's face suddenly darkened. He coldly asked, "Do you think you can pass the super-level difficulty?" Lamtrak, with sharp eyes, glanced sideways and replied smugly, "Of course I—" The man then turned around and laughed mockingly. "Haha, young people still have passion. I gave you advice. If you still want to play with fire, it's up to you." Then he stepped beside the primordial stone and reminded everyone, "If everyone has finished choosing, then I declare, the test begins." As soon as he finished speaking, everyone was immediately brought into a room. Inside the room, a mysterious green aura filled the air. Everyone sat down, closed their eyes, and focused intensely. Then suddenly, the primordial stone emitted a strange halo. After a moment, images appeared on the stone's surface, dividing everyone into different— The man at that moment was intently watching the stone, exclaiming, "Lamtrach, right?" Cut to Lamtrach. Very interesting. He was now transported to a large plaza. Seeing the surrounding space was silent, he opened his eyes and slowly sat up. He observed everything around him and sighed, "Looks like we've entered the virtual world of the primordial stone." At the same time, the The teacher's voice echoed from the real world. Any injuries that occur in the virtual world will not affect you in the real world, including the death of your guardian beasts. Upon hearing this, he smiled pleasantly and said, "Then there's nothing to worry about. Let's just enjoy the game." At this moment, the system board appeared, announcing, "You have an unclaimed achievement. Victory in the first battle. Defeat." After reading the announcement, he excitedly shouted, "Oh wow! I'm here, and I can even see the system." Without waiting, he touched the system board. The screen quickly displayed, "You have received 100 achievement points and soul crystal." Next, he tapped the claim button on the screen and excitedly exclaimed, "Quick! Use the 100 achievement points and soul." The system board was quickly updated. 8 increased to 2.8, the growth rate from 24% to 44%. Level 2 Phase 4 increased to Level 2 Phase 6. Both he and Bangtutko gained a moment later, after the power had fully surged, he looked down at his body, happily thinking to himself, "With this, my chance of..." From afar, a door suddenly opened, catching his attention. The heavy foot of a monster stepped towards his position. This time, the monster was a fire lizard of the fire element, level 7. He observed the lizard for a moment, wondering, isn't this supposed to be the super level difficulty? Why is there only one level here? Suddenly, the monster puffed up its mouth and emitted strange. Then, within a second, it opened its mouth wide and spewed a large flame towards. Seeing that, he remained calm, raised his hand, and used Bang Tinhon's ice spear. Immediately, countless ice arrows appeared and flew towards the lizard. The two sources of power, ice and fire, directly clashed, creating a massive explosion in the air. To further increase Bangtutko's strength, from below, he raised his hand forward and unleashed ice storms toward. After the ice smoke dispersed, the lizard's entire body began to freeze, revealing its form. Lamtrak stood by, pleased and smiled, saying, "Looks like it's still my ice spear, even more." An announcement also rang out. "Passed the first level out of 5 levels. Continue the challenge." As the announcement ended, another door opened from inside, emitting a mysterious green aura. Then a thin mummy emerged. It was a bungbo monster of the Vong element, level 9 segment. He looked at the monster and smiled to himself, thinking, for others, a level 9 segment might still be. At the same time, outside, the man watched Lamtrak's battle with a thoughtful gaze. In an instant, the bungbo monster was frozen by Lamtrak's ice sorcery and quickly shattered into many pieces. The ice shards fell scattered on the ground. Lamtrak was pleased and thought to himself, "As for me, that's a bit..." After observing the 2 recent battles of Lamtrak, the man pondered and muttered, "That brat was just lucky earlier because he was restrained by your attributes. Next is the real challenge." Inside the plaza, the announcement rang out again, "Past level 2. Continue to the next challenge." The door gradually opened, and a giant foot resembling a tree stepped out. Its eyes emitted blazing yellow light, staring intently at Lamtrak. Then suddenly, it opened its mouth wide and roared to showcase its status. This monster is a Koi beast of the plant element, level 2 segment. The supervisor observes Lamtrak's match with contemplative thoughts, noting that his beloved beast is only 2nd grade, 1 section. Now it's a dried-up monster of 2nd grade, 2 sections. Even if he has extraordinary talent, he cannot surpass this level. The withered monster seemed completely unaffected by the attack of the ice spirit. Lamtrak, frustrated, muttered to himself, "This beast's flesh is so thick, yet it can withstand the ice spear." But that's not all. It then fiercely punches the ground, summoning countless giant vines that burst through the air. In the blink of an eye, those vines tightly bind the ice. Securing his opponent, the withered monster quickly approaches to deliver the finishing blow. Outside, the supervisor laughed loudly. "Ha ha! Although the new students are formidable, that's as far as they can go." However, his laughter was short-lived, as his face hardened upon witnessing the scene inside the trial. He saw countless ice covering the ground and enveloping the monster's legs. Several meters around were blanketed in ice, and naturally, the beast couldn't move. This was the extreme frost realm, the ice spirit skill that Lamtrak had just ordered to deploy. "You think we only have one skill?" the ice spear continued. Then the ice spirit continuously launched ice spear attacks towards the withered monster, while also raising its hands to block. In an instant, the monster's entire arm was covered in ice spear. At that moment, more ice spears appeared right behind it. The monster naturally couldn't withstand the sharp ice blocks piercing through its body, causing it to scream in pain. Eventually, it collapsed to the ground unconscious, while Lamtrak happily patted his head. The ice spirit is done. The 3rd gate was successfully passed. Next, They proceeded to challenge the remaining two gates. Outside the main hall, countless students startled and fled the trial. If they failed, they would angrily curse, "Damn it, we're so close to killing that pet beast, and now we've failed again this year." Never thought the fifth gate would be this difficult, especially with a level 6 pet beast. Some were sadly disillusioned, while others were excited about successfully passing the trial. "Haha, I did it! I'm now an apprentice beastmaster." Excited laughter drew envy from those who failed beside them. Suddenly, someone pointed towards the divine stone and exclaimed, "Hey, that's a fierce beast!" "It's a level 2 pet beast. Why is a level 2 pet beast appearing during the internship exam here?" People's chatter began as they focused on the divine stone screen in front of them. That name wasn't someone who had challenged a super-level difficulty gate. Lamtrak had now passed the fourth gate. The final gate began. According to the announcement, the guy was excited and looked ahead. Finally, it reached the final round. The trainees outside were shocked, observing his match with great curiosity. "Why is that name so strong? I know all the top students in this high school, but I haven't heard of this person." At this moment, the beautiful Kwangnin also opened her eyes, emerging from the divine. Kwangnin excitedly cheered, "I did it! I've become an apprentice beastmaster. How about you, Lamtrach?" She had just asked and was captivated by the crowd in front of her. The overwhelming cheers silenced everyone's exclamations, making her curious to step closer. After watching for a while, Kwangnin couldn't hide her surprise. "Lamtrach has passed the fourth gate at super-level difficulty? Impressive." Meanwhile, everyone was excitedly cheering outside. They opened their eyes wide to admire the fifth round's monster. What kind of beast is this? A saber-toothed lion, a level 2 wild beast with a power of 5 stages, featuring an enormous and imposing stature with fiery eyes. But it's a saber-toothed lion like this? That's too twisted. Normally, how could a new student ever defeat it? Inside, Lamtrak remained calm as he faced his final opponent. Finally, he encountered someone who knew how to fight. It turned out that the ice spirit user was using ice spears to attack, but the saber-toothed lion possessed an incredibly high speed, dodging like a... This speed successfully made Lamtrak squint his eyes, very fast. Then, the saber-toothed lion used a stealth claw move to strike the ice spirit before it could react. The direct hit caused the ice spirit's body to crack and break. The supervisor outside became silent and contemplative this time. "Let's see if he has any new moves. Young man, I admit you have skill, but this time you really have to stop here." As for Lamtrak, after the first match with the saber-toothed lion, he realized the current situation. Although the ice spirit was one level higher than the saber-toothed lion, the beast's strength wasn't entirely determined by its level. It also depended on attributes, environmental conditions, and the beastmaster's strategy. All these factors influenced victory, or the ice spirit had weakened from enduring 4 consecutive battles, while the saber-toothed lion was a beast with considerable strength in one-on-one situations, possessing higher speed and power than the ice spirit. Clearly, this was a difficult battle. If we keep going like this, we might actually lose. I must find an opportunity. With that thought, seeing the monster continuing to approach, Lamtrak loudly ordered, "Ice, it's now or never." No original text provided for. At the precise moment, the loudmouthed young man orders the conveyor belt to move, and accordingly, Bang Tinhan's conveyor belt skills are immediate. 2 attacks from 2 beloved beasts collide, creating a cloud of dust and smoke. As everything clears, everyone sees the lion saber with a conveyor belt body fall to the ground, and in the distance, Bang Tinhon also seems to have collapsed. The crowd is bewildered, unable to understand what happened. How can it be a draw? How is it calculated? A voice suddenly shouts, "That's not right! Everyone, look!" They're shocked as they look into the screen and see the lion saber starting to stir. So he can match a lion saber of 2nd grade, 5 sections? Then his beloved beast must be at least 2nd grade, 5 sections. This brat is really good at hiding it. On this side, Lamtrak gently bows his head in the crowd, his face solemn. This is the result of my careful consideration. On this side, the lion saber roars fiercely, its growl sending vibrations through the entire area. Bang Tinhan walks lightly, gently stroking his belly as if something is being hidden. As soon as he hears the intense roar from the opponent, his eyes blaze as if awakened from a trance. Immediately, he turns 180 degrees, flailing his arms decisively, preparing to attack the opponent's beloved beast. As expected, He leverages his strengths to unleash a technique that essentially freezes the opponent, making them unable to move. His eyes burn with fury. Then he tries to move closer to Bang Tin-han, seemingly unfazed by the wind element's attack. On this side, Lam Trak stands behind Bang Tin-han. His gaze towards him is not very friendly. That's right, the lion saber is a beast from the polar regions, so they have excellent resistance to harsh cold. His face darkens, his expression worried. A few drops of sweat begin to trickle down his face. Suddenly, the system displays a notification. New achievement unlocked. The beloved beast has used its skills a total of 10 times and earned 100 achievement points, unlocking the beast's skills function. Upon reading this, he is extremely surprised. Oh, what is the skills unlock function now? At this moment, the screen displays 3 new skills. Extreme chain skill, control and manipulate ice elements into chains to restrain the target's actions. Requires 40% growth and 50 achievement points. Ice shield defensive skill. Control ice elements to form a shield for free defense against attacks from all directions. Requires 60% growth and 50 achievement points. Bang Shuang Tan Tin, a damage-dealing area skill that quickly compresses a large amount of ice elements in a designated area into a point, releasing them in a flash to create ice attribute damage. Requires 80% growth and 100 achievement points. He widened his eyes as he read, wondering how many skills could be. He starts to calculate. In general, a beloved beast has at most 2 basic skills. The more skills it has, the more strategies it can combine with. Bang's main damage skill is Bang Chui, which heavily relies on control abilities. Although the ice field has a wide range, causing significant damage and having control capabilities, it still lacks the most essential thing in the current situation. A strong, single... After thinking it through, he reaches out to touch the extreme chain skill text. Extreme control skill consumes 50 achievement points, and the remaining 50 points. While he is still thinking about the remaining points, the lion saber immediately lunges forward to attack the 2 of them. Seeing this, Bang Tin-han immediately releases a control move. The lion saber cannot dodge in time, and after the attack, Bang Tin-han smiles lightly and levels up his beloved beast. At this moment, the system notifies that Bang Tin-han has reached 2nd grade, 7 sections, with people outside are abuzz. What's with that light? It leveled up already. How is that possible? They keep discussing. I didn't see him consume any materials. Even for battle experience, leveling up should only be possible after a victory, right? Could it be he has some trick up his sleeve? At this moment, Lam Trak gently waves his hand, signaling. Immediately, the lion saber soars into the air, preparing to rush towards them. Lam Trak calmly says, "Now try using the extreme chain skill." Immediately, Bang Tin-han releases the extreme chain skill, quickly restraining the lion saber again, preventing it from moving. Bound tightly by the chains, it struggles and weakly roars. Lam Trash adds now. He gently claps his ice fist. Immediately, a new move is formed and launched directly at the lion saber, causing it to roar. Outside, people become even more bewildered. What kind of skill is that? Why is this happening? An angry person keeps shouting, why can his beloved beast use up to 3 skills? At this moment, the 2 of them are standing and watching the lion saber. They see its body trembling from the cold, not completely collapsed. Lam Trak lightly smiles. Is your skin really that thick? At this moment, Bang Tin-han's eyes shine brightly, as if something bad is about to happen. Then take another turn. With just a 3rd move, the lion saber is defeated by Bang Tin-han, lying helplessly on the cold ice ground. Congratulations, the challenge is over. You have successfully passed the super... Anin happily jumps up, cheering, yes, we won. Lam Trak is too awesome. Outside, people are still abuzz. But you really got through it. This is impossible. He must have bribed the judges. I didn't expect this brat. He glances towards Lam Trak. A young beast master with extraordinary talent. We've met many, but someone appearing out of nowhere and astonishing everyone. It's my first time meeting. At this moment, the system sends another notification. Lam Trak's physical level 2 has increased to 5. Soul level 2, class level, soul mastery 780, soul art none, beloved beast, Bang Tin-han, achievement points 3. Bang Tin-han's level 3rd grade 1 section, growth increase 84%. Skills Bang Chui extreme ice, extreme chain skill. Lam Trak gently looks at his beloved beast. No wonder it's the special purification ceremony of a super level beast with true strength. Suddenly, a notification is sent. You can make a second pact with a beloved beast. He starts to think, what will the second pact be? It seems I need to go to the beloved beast shop again. Beastmaster Apprentice Evaluation passed. The first purification ceremony has been completed. You have received 200 achievement points. Rewards have been granted. Please exit the inspection. At this moment, many people are standing around him, which makes him extremely surprised. They keep asking, how did you do it, student? How did your ice element beast find it? I've never seen anything. At this moment, Nine runs up from behind, hugging his neck. You know you'll definitely succeed, she says. Yeah, I know, he replies. She snuggles up against him. You're so good. He gently touches her hand. Her face turns red, perhaps out of shyness. At this moment, amidst the chaos, Hatran Van stepped up to the young man. Your performance is truly astonishing. I retract what I said earlier. Your confidence comes from strength, not from any reckless impulsiveness at all. The people around couldn't stop talking. The judge was apologizing to a student. What a surprise. At that moment, Lamtrak spoke up. I don't mind this matter at all. Tran Van then approached and asked, Your name is Lamtrach, right? Would you like to join our Guardian Beast Masters Association? You could be selected for a reserve position with generous benefits and welfare. This won't conflict with your application to the Guardian Beast Academy. After graduation, you will immediately be appointed as an associate of the association. What do you think? The students were in constant shock upon hearing this. Kwang Nin, standing nearby and beaming with joy, urged, Brother, please agree quickly. Only outstanding graduates from the Guardian Beast Academy are eligible to be evaluated and join the Guardian Beast Association. Among the countless students, it was Lamtrak who was chosen. The competition was fierce, comparable to the legendary challenge of Tianjin Wanma crossing the Dokmu Bridge. Lamtrak was thoughtful. Indeed, if I agree now, I won't have to worry about living expenses or tuition fees for the 4 years at the Guardian Beast Academy. Moreover, everyone will admire me. He hesitated for a moment, but his eyes lowered as he thought, There's no such thing as a free meal in this world. The more you receive now, the more you'll have to repay later. With so many obligations from the association, I don't want to lose my freedom. Then he said firmly to the teacher and the judge, Thank you for your kind offer, sir, but I've thought it over. I'll consider it after I graduate. From behind, a classmate said, Sir, if he doesn't go, do you think I could join instead? But Tran Van did not answer him. He thought to himself, This kid is really talented. At his current rate of development, he will surely be 100 times stronger than he is now. Then he could demand the highest level of benefits from the Guardian Beast Association instead of the meager ones he has now. Tran Van replied, If that's the case, I won't insist on you anymore. If you need anything or change your mind, you can always come see me. Then he pointed to the badge on his shirt. Hatran Van, he said confidently. However, all he received in return was a cold, indifferent look from Lamtrak. At that moment, they stepped out into the vast courtyard, a stark contrast to their small stature. Suddenly, a voice from the other side called out, Kwang Nin, wait for us, which surprised her a little. 2 of Kwang Nin's classmates ran over. She introduced them to Lam Trach. This is your classmate, Lu Tu Yen and Truong Hyovan. Then she ran over, grabbed Kwang Nin's hand, and said, Kwang Nin, we'd love to keep in touch with you. Cheerfully, she took out her phone and called, Hey, add me as a friend. We've already noticed you. Let's hang out together sometime. The friend behind her also waved and greeted him. Hey, we're classmates from the neighboring class, and we really like you. Kwang Nin felt a bit annoyed, while Lam Trach was extremely embarrassed. Excuse us, we still have something to attend to first, okay? Immediately after speaking, the two switched to rapid friend add mode. Let's do it later. Suddenly, his phone rang with a message. Report to the office immediately. He quickly headed to the office. His homeroom teacher glanced at him and said, Oh, I've been looking for you. The homeroom teacher, dressed in a very alluring manner, turned around and said, I heard you passed the ultra-difficult cultivation challenge. He nodded slightly without saying anything further. The teacher immediately rushed over and embraced him tightly, exclaiming, So brilliant! You know I value you above all. He recalled that when his scores were low, the teacher had made him play a chasing game. Thinking of it, he burst out laughing. Then the teacher took out a mysterious book. That's right, this time I've called you here to discuss something with you. He accepted the book. It looked rather old. Here it is. The teacher pointed to the book and said, "This book records techniques and methods for practicing basic soul arts. It is one of the compulsory courses for trainee guardian beast masters, so it's best for you to get acquainted with it first." For guardian beast masters, aside from their guardian beasts, combat techniques are of utmost importance. She added, "A guardian beast master who cultivates a powerful soul art can even easily kill rampaging beasts using soul art alone, without relying on their guardian beast. This skill not only allows coordination with the guardian beast during battle, but also provides a means to protect the master in fierce combats to avoid injury." He was amazed. He understood that with this skill, he could protect himself during combat. Delighted, he cheered. "Thank you, teacher. I'll start training in this right away. If I encounter any difficulties later, I'll come to you." At that moment, he had returned to his room and was sitting on the floor reading a book. The Soul Guardian effect created a shield of soul power, consuming that energy and capable of countering damage from all 360 degrees. After reading, he was somewhat pensive. The early bird catches the worm. First, I must learn the basics, and then, once I enter the Guardian Beast Academy, I can take time to study more advanced courses. Time passed quickly. 10 minutes later, his body seemed to be enveloped by a stream of spiritual energy. He suddenly opened his eyes wide, his gaze shining brilliantly, as if he had successfully absorbed the knowledge from that book. Gradually, a shield of power formed, encircling him. He raised both hands and thought to himself, "So, I've grasped the basics already. Ordinary people would take days or even months to master soul art, yet I managed to learn it in just 10 minutes. My physical and spiritual potential must be off the charts." Suddenly, the system screen displayed, "Successfully mastered a type of soul art." The system continued to announce, "Achievement reward, 100 achievement points. Current achievement points, 350. Would you like to spend 50 achievement points to upgrade your soul guardian?" He clenched his fist. Indeed, the system also had an effect on soul art.